You think you're made of solid particles, atoms arranged into molecules, molecules into cells, cells into you, but a century ago physicists proved that particles don't exist. Not in the way you imagine. You're not made of tiny solid objects. You're made of waves in quantum fields that only appear as particles when measured, and I can show you the exact experiment that proved this forever. Let me explain why you are fundamentally a wave and what that means for everything you think you are. The experiment is called the Double Slit Experiment, and it's the most important demonstration in quantum mechanics. It's simple enough to perform on a tabletop, yet profound enough to overturn centuries of assumptions about the nature of matter. Here's the setup. Take a barrier with two narrow slits cut into it. Shine light through the slits onto a screen behind them. What pattern appears on the screen? If light were made of particles, you'd expect two bright bands directly behind the slits. Particles go through one slit or the other and hit the screen in a straight line. Simple ballistic trajectory. Two slits, two bands. But that's not what happens. You see multiple bands, an interference pattern, bright and dark fringes alternating across the screen. This is wave behavior, waves passing through two slits spread out and overlap. Where crests meet crests, you get bright fringes. Where crests meet troughs, they cancel and you get darkness. Light behaves as a wave. This was understood in the 19th century. Thomas Young performed this experiment in 1801 and proved light is wave-like, settling a centuries-old debate about the nature of light. But then quantum mechanics arrived and everything became stranger. Einstein showed that light also behaves as particles called photons. Light comes in discrete quantum packets. Experiments on the photoelectric effect proved this conclusively. Light is quantized, so which is it, wave or particle? The answer is both, or neither. Light is something more fundamental that exhibits wave-like behavior in some circumstances and particle-like behavior in others. This is called wave-particle duality, and it applies to everything, not just light. Now here's where it becomes shocking. Perform the double slit experiment not with light, but with electrons. Electrons are matter. They have mass. They're the particles that orbit atomic nuclei. They're the solid stuff reality is made of. But when you fire electrons one at a time through two slits, they create an interference pattern, just like light waves. Each individual electron somehow goes through both slits simultaneously and interferes with itself. The electron is a wave. Wait, you might say, maybe electrons are bouncing off each other, creating interference through interactions. So do the experiment more carefully. Send one electron at a time. Wait for it to hit the screen, then send the next. Build up the pattern slowly, one electron at a time. The interference pattern still appears. Each individual electron contributes one dot to the screen. But as dots accumulate over time, interference fringes emerge. Each electron traveling alone interferes with itself. It goes through both slits as a wave even though it arrives as a localized particle. This has been done with electrons, neutrons, atoms, even molecules. The larger the object, the harder it is to maintain quantum coherence. But in principle, the wave nature applies to everything. You are made of particles that are fundamentally waves. Now let me make this even stranger. Place detectors at the slits to measure which slit each electron goes through. Now you can determine the electron's path. Which slit did it use? When you do this, the interference pattern disappears. You get two bands behind the two slits. Particle behavior. The act of measuring which slit the electron went through destroys the wave interference. The electron behaves as a particle when observed, a wave when not observed. This is not measurement disturbing the electron. You can make the measurement arbitrarily gentle. It's not about physically bumping the electron and changing its trajectory. It's more fundamental. The act of gaining which path information collapses the wave function. The electron must commit to one slit or the other once you measure it. But if you don't measure, the electron remains in superposition. It goes through both slits as a probability wave. The wave nature is not ignorance about which slit the particle really went through. The electron really does go through both until measured. Richard Feynman said the double slit experiment contains the only mystery of quantum mechanics. Everything strange about quantum theory is present here. Superposition, measurement, wave-particle duality, the role of observation. Understand this experiment deeply and you understand quantum mechanics. You are made of electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks. All of these are quantum objects that exhibit wave-particle duality. When not observed, they behave as waves described by quantum wave functions. When observed, they localize and behave as particles. This means you are not solid, you are not made of tiny billiard balls arranged in space. You are a pattern of waves in quantum fields, collapsing into particle-like behavior when measured but fundamentally wave-like. And this is not just a quirk of microscopic physics. Your wave nature has implications for consciousness, identity, and what you really are. If every particle in your body is fundamentally a wave, then what are you? You're a complex interference pattern, a wave structure that maintains coherence across trillions of quantum fields. Your solidity is an illusion created by constant measurement by the environment. Every atom in your body is continuously interacting with neighboring atoms, with photons, with air molecules, with the thermal radiation around you. These interactions are measurements. They collapse the quantum wave functions of your constituent particles into relatively definite positions and momenta. This is why you appear solid. You're constantly being measured by your environment. The wave functions collapse so rapidly and so continuously that you never observe your own wave nature. You always appear particle-like, localized, definite, but underneath you're wave-like. If we could somehow isolate you from all environmental interactions, if we could prevent decoherence, you would spread out as a probability wave, not just microscopic quantum uncertainty but macroscopic superposition, you in multiple places simultaneously. This is practically impossible for objects larger than molecules. The warm, wet chemistry of biology ensures constant environmental interaction. Decoherence is essentially instantaneous for living systems. But the principle remains: you are fundamentally wave-like, appearing particle-like only because measurement is continuous. Now let me connect this to consciousness. If you are waves in quantum fields, if your fundamental nature is probabilistic superposition, then consciousness might involve processes that operate at this wave level before decoherence forces classical definiteness. I've proposed that consciousness involves quantum coherence in microtubules within neurons. These structures might maintain superposition for tens of milliseconds before collapse. During that time, neural processes operate quantum mechanically. Multiple possible thoughts, multiple computational paths, all coexisting in superposition. The collapse of this superposition is orchestrated across many neurons. When collapse occurs, one definite thought emerges. But before collapse, you were in superposition at the quantum level. Multiple potential conscious states existed simultaneously as wave patterns in microtubules. If this is correct, then your consciousness is not just correlated with quantum processes. Your consciousness is a quantum process. You think in superposition, deciding which thoughts to collapse into definiteness through orchestrated quantum collapse. This means your subjective experience has wave nature. Before you make a decision, before a thought crystallizes, you exist in quantum superposition at the level of neural quantum states. Multiple possibilities coexist as interfering waves. The decision collapses the superposition into one definite outcome. You experience this as making a choice, as thoughts coming into focus, as ideas crystallizing from vague uncertainty into clear understanding. And physically, this is wave function collapse. Quantum superposition resolving into classical definiteness. Your wave nature is not just background physics. It's essential to how consciousness works, how thoughts emerge, how decisions happen. You are waves collapsing into thoughts. Now let me address identity. If you're made of waves, if your particles are probability distributions rather than definite objects, then what makes you you? What maintains your identity over time? The atoms in your body are constantly being replaced. The matter that makes up your cells today is not the same matter from 7 years ago. Every atom has been swapped out, yet you feel like the same person. Your identity persists despite complete material replacement. This makes sense if identity is a pattern, not a substance. You are not your atoms, you are the wave pattern that the atoms instantiate. As long as the pattern maintains coherence, as long as the wave structure persists, you remain you even as the underlying matter changes. Your identity is like a standing wave. The wave persists even though the medium flows through it. A wave in water maintains its form even as water molecules move up and down, without traveling with the wave. You are a standing wave in quantum fields, maintaining pattern coherence as matter flows through you. This also explains why consciousness seems unified. If you were made of separate particles, each with its own independent existence, it would be mysterious why you experience yourself as a single unified subject rather than a collection of separate conscious particles. But if you're a wave pattern, if consciousness emerges from quantum coherence across many particles, then unity is natural. The wave is a single entity, even though it extends across space. Your consciousness is a unified wave pattern in your brain's quantum state. When that wave collapses, when decoherence forces definiteness, you experience a single conscious moment. Not multiple separate experiences, but one unified awareness. Because the wave is one thing, not many. This is profoundly different from computational theories of consciousness that treat the brain as a classical computer made of discrete components. If consciousness is computational in the classical sense, unity is unexplained. Why should processing in billions of separate neurons produce one unified experience, rather than billions of separate micro-experiences? But if consciousness is quantum mechanical, if it's a wave phenomenon involving coherent superposition across many neurons, then unity follows naturally. The quantum state is a single entity. Collapse produces a single definite outcome. One wave, one consciousness. Let me make this concrete. Right now, as you process these words, neural patterns are activating in your brain. Classical neuroscience describes this as neurons firing in sequence, electrical signals propagating through circuits. This is not wrong, but it's incomplete. At the quantum level, those neural processes involve wave functions in superposition. Multiple possible interpretations of these words, multiple potential thoughts in response, all coexisting as quantum possibilities. Your consciousness is navigating this superposition, allowing different possibilities to interfere with each other like waves in the double slit experiment. When understanding crystallizes, when the meaning becomes clear, that's collapse. The quantum superposition resolves into one definite classical brain state, one definite thought, and you experience that thought as a conscious moment. You're not just computing, you're quantum interfering. Your thought process is wave-like before it becomes particle-like, and that wave nature is what allows genuine creativity, genuine insight, genuine understanding that transcends algorithmic computation. Algorithms operate on definite inputs to produce definite outputs. They're classical, particle-like, but insight operates on superpositions, allowing multiple possibilities to interfere before collapsing into the right answer. This is quantum wave-like, and this is why human understanding transcends computation. You are waves, not particles. Your thoughts are interference patterns, not logical circuits. Your consciousness is quantum collapse, not classical computation. And this is not mysticism, this is what the double slit experiment teaches us about matter, and what that implies for mind. Now let me address what happens when you die. If you're a wave pattern rather than a collection of particles, then death is the dissolution of that pattern. The coherence breaks down, the wave disperses, the particles continue to exist, but the pattern that was you ceases. This is not comforting in the way religious notions of afterlife are comforting. The wave pattern doesn't persist after the physical structure that maintains it dissolves. When your brain stops functioning, when the quantum coherence can no longer be maintained, the wave pattern that is your consciousness dissipates, but the matter remains. The atoms that were part of you return to the environment. They will become part of other wave patterns, other structures, other beings. You disperse into the world. The particles that thought your thoughts will think other thoughts in other brains, and if information is conserved at the quantum level, if the pattern that was you is encoded somehow in the quantum state of the universe, then in principle the information exists forever, even if hopelessly scrambled. You are a wave in the cosmic quantum field. That wave dissipated, but the field remains. The information about the wave, about what you were, persists as subtle correlations in the total quantum state. This is cold comfort. You won't experience anything after death. The wave pattern that experiences ceases when coherence ends. But you were real. The wave was real, and the universe keeps records in its quantum state. Nothing is truly lost. Let me bring this back to the double slit experiment one more time. That simple setup with two slits and a screen shows you the fundamental nature of reality. Waves, not particles. Superposition, not definiteness. Measurement creating reality, not revealing pre-existing facts. You are built from the same stuff that goes through both slits at once. Your particles are waves that collapse when observed. Your consciousness might be the process of collapse itself, waves of possibility resolving into definite thoughts. This is what you are, not solid matter, not a collection of particles, but waves in quantum fields, temporarily organized into a coherent pattern, complex enough to know itself, to experience, to think. The double slit experiment proved this a century ago. We've been trying to make sense of the implications ever since. And the deepest implication is about you. You are not what you seem. You are waves dreaming their particles. Quantum superpositions experiencing the illusion of classical definiteness. Every time you look in a mirror, you're seeing a wave pattern that has organized itself into something that can look. Every time you think, you're experiencing quantum collapse. Every time you feel solid, you're feeling the illusion created by constant environmental measurement. You are made of waves, not matter. The double slit experiment proved it. And once you understand this deeply, once you recognize your own wave nature, you can never see yourself the same way again. You're not a thing, you're a process, a wave in space-time, a pattern of quantum interference, a temporary coherence in the universal field, and that's more beautiful and mysterious than any notion of solid material existence could ever be. The experiment that proved it is simple. 2 slits, particles fired through one at a time, interference pattern emerges. But the implications are infinite. You are waves, and you have been all along.